Pleasure to bring to the stage Mr. Evan Smith.
Kids, so happy to see you. Happy Comic-Con, man. I'm delighted to be here. They just told me backstage, I never knew this. Like, I always assumed Sunday there would be programming in Hall H. I thought it was just every day. This is the last thing they do in Hall H every year, man. I've been doing this for years. I never fucking knew that. We closed the joint out, man. But I have to follow the marble paneling. Fuck. That's like, man, it's honestly, it's like some of my favorite porn to watch online is cuck porn. And it always makes me feel like the third who just watches the whole time. And then once those two people are done fucking, I'm like, can I go now? And this is that, man. This is my portion of the evening and shit like that. It was amazing. I got to see the footage from backstage. I got to see all the fucking famous people too. It was crazy, man. Sometimes like I feel like I'm in a completely different business. Like they're in the movie business and I'm in the movie business. So it was crazy when I see famous people, I still get like, holy shit. But the footage, man, was nuts. They showed footage from Spider-Man Brand New Day, which was Spider-Man and the Punisher fighting the Hulk. Did y'all see it? Yeah! I cummed so hard, man. Oh my God, unassisted. And then we were sitting there, you know, when they dropped the trailer earlier in the week, I was like, oh my God, they must have something cool planned for Hall H. And they did. They put like a Doom-centric trailer, which was just, it had a beating heart to it and shit. I'm so fucking there, man. The whole thing was just, honestly, like that's why I came to Comic-Con, and then after that happened, I came at Comic-Con, man. It was amazing. I've been having a real nice time. I've been here since Wednesday night. I got to hit the floor for like preview night and stuff, go to the Funko Mystery Pop activation. Next day, I got to moderate a panel for a movie called Onslaught, first ever Onslaught, which was wonderful. And I got to see that movie in advance, so that was fucking dope. And then last night, I got to moderate the Spaceballs panel. It was a religious experience. Hey man, good seeing you again. I know you too. It was awesome to be there. Like, number one, like it was just cool to be able to moderate the panel. I have nothing to do with the movie, so I get to collect some coolness and stand next to them and shit like that. So that's always good for the brand, as they say. But more importantly, I got to fucking introduce Rick Moranis and I remember when we were on the Zoom call in advance talking with the folks at Amazon about like the panel and stuff, and they were talking about who comes out, what order. I was like, when Rick comes out, like you can expect the place to go apeshit. He's never been there, and he's not just Dark Helmet. You're talking about Louis Tully from Ghostbusters, man. You're talking about Seymour Krelborn from Little Shop of Horrors. Streets of Fire, the worst father on the fucking planet from the Honey I Shrunk That series. So I was like, I'm sure they're gonna welcome him with open arms. And I'll be honest with you, man, y'all, who was in the room for that? Like, you did not let me down. Like, when he came up and everyone hit their fucking feet and shit like that. You know how meaningful that is for that dude? Like, this is a dude who's not of our world. He hasn't been paying attention to this shit in fucking decades. He built the tracks that fucking fandom has run on for the last 3-4 fucking decades, but he never really partook in any of this shit. So here he comes out of retirement after fucking decades, taking off to go live a real life and do important things and shit like that. He decides to come back, and of course, you know, since it's genre and since it's, we're here at San Diego, they're like, come on out, man, go on and meet the folks at Hall H's. And, you know, this is somebody who is used to improvisational performance, has been since he was with Second City way back at the beginning of his career and stuff. So he's not afraid, tight friends with the late great John Candy. So this is not a person that's afraid to be in front of an audience. I just don't think he had any fucking concept. Like, he could get his head around a crowd. They kept saying, there's like 6,000 people out there, make sure you speak into the mic and stuff. And I'm sure he could absolutely get his head around the crowd. What he had no idea was how much that crowd fucking loved him, man. And when he came up on stage, everyone just fucking stood up. Like, you could see it in his fucking face. Dude was like, I'm back. And then it's like we all were telling him, dude, you never left. Like, fucking, you may have taken steps away, but we still got to enjoy your movies in your absence, and now finding out you're coming back, oh, it was everything. And for me personally, aside from the aforementioned movies, part of my religion is Strange Brew, a movie that he did years ago with Dave Thomas, and it's centered around Bob and Doug McKenzie, two characters that came from SCTV. I would never have gotten to Jay and Silent Bob without Bob and Doug McKenzie. So last night, before we did the panel, like at one point, like, you know, I met him and stuff, and then we all had a kind of meet and greet about what the panel, how it's going to lay out. And then I kind of saw him just by himself, and I don't fan out on a regular basis, but this one was huge for me. So I went over and I was like, hey man, like, we just met, would you mind, can we take a selfie? And he was so gracious, he was like, oh, absolutely. And so I made sure I got the pictures, because then there was a good chance that I was gonna cry in front of him and shit, so I didn't want to cry first and then be like, can we take a picture? So I got the picture out of the way, and then I told him, I was like, this is incredibly meaningful to me, because Strange Group, and I said, I play a character for 30 years now called Silent Bob, standing next to a guy called Jay, and that never would have happened if I wasn't such a big fan of Bob and Doug McKenzie. And you can tell this is a dude who is used to receiving that kind of very personal compliment. You know, not so much everyone going, hey, you made me want to be in movies too, but people who are like, oh my God, fucking, I love the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids series. Oh my God, Ghostbusters was my religion as a kid and whatnot. He's used to receiving that kind of fucking affection. And he's Canadian on top of it, makes him so fucking sweet. So for me, man, like, normally I got funny stories to tell. I didn't have anything funny. It was just a really magical, fucking moving moment for me at Comic-Con. And I didn't think anything could fucking top it. And then I watched the Dr. Doom footage and shit. And I was like, oh my God, that's also Comic-Con, man. Like, it's just all, I don't know, I've had a really wonderful year this year. How was your Comic-Con, kid?
Let me down. I love you. Also, I want to tell you, when I met your
The
mom,
Q&A's begun, kids.
I met your mom after Endgame.
Yes.
That's the night when I said to you, you're the perfect dessert after a wonderful meal. And
He told me one time I was here after the Endgame panel, was it? That I was the perfect dessert after a wonderful meal.
Complimenting me.
My wife says it differently. You're a very unsatisfying ending to a terrible meal. But I appreciate it. You being here every year, like seeing a familiar face right up front, you guys, is like everything. It's so cool. It's like basically like, you know, I stay down at the Marriott Marquis, and so when I come do shows here, I just walk down the back aisle and stuff. If you take a car, it takes you like an hour to get it. So I just walk, and you know, most people fucking clock me because I'm literally dressed like this. And so first you can see their reactions, like, why would someone wear that coat? And then they go, why would someone cosplay as Silent Bob in this weather? And then they go, wait, is that him? And then I'm gone by the time they put it together. So I've been doing that for like the last 4 days. And then when I come, you know, get to the backstage area, what's really wonderful is all the people that work here, the staff, like the people that make Comic-Con work, the lifeblood of fucking Comic-Con International, like all greet me like I'm one of them, and like I'm coming to work and shit like that. I get treated like a familiar. I don't get treated like an other. But at the same time, they're always nice about like, hey, it's fucking Kevin James, or you know, whatever. They get it half right. I don't give a fuck and shit. But it's always wonderful to fucking be here, man. And it usually kicks off my geek year. The start of the geek year begins here at Comic-Con. So let me say, we're going to dive into Q&A. We're going to hang out until like 8:30. Is that cool, kids? But before we do that, a little housekeeping. Me and Jay have a video game coming out. And the good folks who put a trailer together, so I'm going to show it to you. After the trailer, they're going to put up a QR code, so if you want to pre-order the game, you can and stuff. But I don't want to spoil it. Let's just take a peek. Can we roll that trailer real quick? But based on weed and shit. There's the QR code, kids, if you're down for the game. It's fun. I've fucking seen it, and it's very cool. What other housekeeping can I get out of the way? They over at Lionsgate, I guess they had a panel yesterday or earlier today, where they announced a bunch of steel books that they're putting out, and we've got one of them. Can you guys throw up that image? I think it's next. Clerks 2, man. They're doing a steelbook, fat-ass Blu-ray because it's the 20th anniversary we just hit this year and stuff. So I think you can order that, and they're also going to put out another steelbook of Clerks 3. So both of those are going to be orderable. Earlier this year, kids, I did a little work for Marvel, and that's going to continue on. I wrote a comic book about Jay and Silent Bob meeting the Marvel Universe called Jay's of Future Past. It sold so well, y'all sold it out, and so they went to a second printing. And this is what I mean. I don't have big news to share with people and shit. I didn't bring Ryan Gosling with me or anything. But I am happy to say that Marvel Comics was like, do 2 more. So we're gonna do 2 more Jay and Silent Bob books. And I wrote one already, so there's only one more for me to write. It's fucking dope. And I've been having a blast writing some Marvel comics and whatnot. I got another comic coming out that I wrote with my friend Andy McElfresh that R.B. Silva is drawing. Comes out in August, and it's Spider-Man, Hulk, Fire and Brimstone is the title. It's about they decide to get rid of the Hulk by having an exorcism. It's a fucking badass book, man. So I got that, and then later on next year I got some other Marvel stuff coming out. So I'm knee deep in comics again, man. It's been a good time. What else do I have to set you up with? Bizarro over at DC Comics, man. Me and Eric Carrasco got a book where it's coming up on issue 3 that Nick Pitar's amazing artist has been drawing. It's called Bizarro, Year None. And it tells this kind of unofficial secret origin of Bizarro. So that's on the stands as well. And that two more books for to finish. Issue 3 is coming out next, and issue 4 finishes it up. So I've been knee deep in the comics, and it's been a good time. And then I'm not at liberty to say, well, here, I can tell you this. I wrote a book, and that comes out next year, but I can't tell you what the title is. And we're making a movie in November, but I can't tell you what it is. But you'll fucking, if you like that game, I think you'll like it. All right, that's all the housekeeping I got. Let's open it up to Q&A, man. Let's find out what you want to talk about and whatnot. Fan out together. So we're gonna open up with you. Look at how well dressed you are. What's your name?
Hi, I'm Rin. And
What is it?
Rin, and I'm
Rin?
Yeah.
Give it up for Rin. Rin is first, man. Take us there, Rin.
I've been working for like 7 years, so it's like a big deal for you asking this question right now.
Oh, fucking nice. Wait, you haven't, why 7 years? You never got up to the mic or anything?
No.
You can find me online, man. I'm like a stalker. Like you can't. I'm usually there every hour of the day, but I'm happy that we're having this exchange. I'm sorry it took so fucking long. Watch how disappointing it's gonna be.
I've been wanting to ask you this question since last year.
Okay.
If you could be any Disney princess, what Disney princess would you
You would think I'd have to think about this. I don't even have to. Fucking Mulan, man. I love all the Disney princesses, man, but oh my God, Mulan, I still think about to this day. Her throwing her shoe at Shen Yu, I fucking love to death. So I go Mulan right away. She saved China, for Christ's sake. Or Princess Leia, also a Disney princess, technically. All right, where are we going next? What's your name, Kat?
Hey Kev, I I'm Ayla.
Give it up for Ayla. Ayla's next.
Hi guys. Hi Mom. Hi Dad. I just want to come on here and say, well, I didn't think this through. I wanted to say that my parents have been taking me to your show as long as I've been born.
Are you serious?
Dead ass, right now. Can you say hi to Brian and Judy for me?
Are Brian and Judy your parents?
Mm-hmm.
Brian and Judy, you are the most irresponsible fucking parents. But thank you so much. How old are you? How long have you been doing it?
I'm 15.
It sickens me to think any of my art is part of your DNA whatsoever, man. But oh my God, how sweet, how awesome. Like all the shit I used to do with my parents, I still hold very close and near and dear to my heart, man. So like, it's lovely that I've become something of a multi-generational affair, man. That means the world. But I'm gonna tell you right now, when you have children, stop it. This is where you have to cut it off, man. Nip it in the bud. Like, don't let it trickle down to them. Let them enjoy and have cultured tastes and shit like that.
No promises. They took me to say Dogma again.
Did they? When you came back out? Thank you for going, man. Oh my God, so that's right. You couldn't have seen it on the big screen the first time we did it because you were like, come when the movie came out. Fucking wild. Bye. Kids, I'll be honest with you. I believe in honesty, so I like to put out shit on Front Street. After that fucking Marvel panel, I was so fucking like thoroughly excited. I went upstairs and smoked a massive joint to calm down. And while I was up there, the Marvel people kept walking past, and they're like, you know. And I was dressed like this, and nobody bumped into it. But it brings me to this that I just want to share with you, man. You know, here in California, weed has been legal for quite some time. And when the state went weed legal, I read an article online where they talked to somebody who was working at the TSA. And the guy said, look, now that weed is legal in California, we're not looking for that at LAX anymore. We're looking for terrorism. So like, fuck weed and shit. So I read that article and it made me so happy that I never fact-checked that article. You know, it spoke to every bias that I had, and I was just like, well, that just fucking makes sense, yes. And so because of that, whenever I fly somewhere out of California, and for the last 10 years plus, I have been flying with a criminal amount of marijuana on me at all fucking times. At a federal level, they could lock me the fuck up, man. Never realized it was a problem until a month ago. So this is what fucking happened, man. I was going to the airport to do a gig in Indianapolis. And I tend to bring weed with me everywhere, but if I'm going particularly to a place that I know has no weed, I'm definitely bringing my brands with me. Now, sidebar. You may be sitting here going, wait a second, man. I saw a fucking video of you online once where you were like, I smoked weed for 15 years, now I quit, and I'm not going to smoke it for the next 15 years. All I can tell you is, yes, you saw that video. I lasted about 1 year, man. And I'll be honest with you, if I didn't start smoking when I did, I definitely would have started smoking at the beginning of this fucking administration, man. So it's good to be back. Now, the weed I smoke is a brand called Jeter, man. It's my favorite weed in the plant. They make it here in California and stuff. They sell it in Michigan, Illinois, New York and stuff. It's not everywhere, but it's in a lot of weed legal states. So when I travel, I always bring my Jeter with me and stuff. So there I am, about to fly out to Indianapolis. Got fucking 10 jars of this Jeter mini fucking dog walkers because I'm gonna be away for 3 days. So I need a lot of weed. So I get to the airport, man, and at LAX, they're working on the American terminal, so it's all fucked up. They sent me to a different security lane than I've ever seen before. So as I'm headed there, I see in the distance on the wall, like far away, in a circle, a giant pot leaf. I recognize it right away. I was like, that ain't Air Canada, that's a fucking pot leaf. And when I saw it, I got so happy. I was like, finally, they're selling weed at the airport. Like, that just makes sense. And so even though I was running late, I headed over to it because I was so curious what airport weed would cost. And I got over there, they were not fucking selling weed at the airport. It was a big pot leaf, but it had a Ghostbusters no sign through it and shit. And under it, it had writing, and this is what the writing said. It said, LAX would like to remind you that anybody caught traveling with narcotics is subject to arrest. Under it, in darker letters, it said, marijuana is still considered narcotics. And I was like, fucking since when, man? Like, I read that article. The guy said fucking no. So I'm staring at this thing, reading it over and over, trying to fucking get this through my thick head and shit. And I guess I was looking at it a little too long, because I swear to God, a TSA agent sidles up next to me. And he says this, he goes, that must be a very scary sign for Silent Bob. Now, normally I'm very happy to be recognized and shit. I work hard for people to be like, hey, you're fucking Silent Bill and shit. But I was getting a different message from my man altogether. I was getting a communication, and what I was understanding him saying by talking to me was this. Yes, we know who you are. And yes, we know what you're thinking right now, because yes, you've been reading this sign for 20 minutes. And yes, if you come through with weed, yes, you will be arrested and shit. So I took all my weed, I was like, excuse me. And I went back out to the car. I dumped it out of my bags and shit, covered it up with a blanket, and then went back to the terminal so fucking depressed and shit. I was so fucking sad and shit. And then I flew to Indianapolis, and the whole time I was like, these poor fuckers are gonna have the worst goddamn show. But good news is when I got there, I found in the bottom of my bag, there was one joint with one hit out of it and shit. And I was like, oh my God, this is gonna save the day. But at the same time, I was like, I can't believe I smuggled weed. You know? But how it got in my bag is a whole other fucking story in and of itself. So that Jeter company I was talking about, remember I mentioned Jeter, my favorite fucking weed and shit. I buy it at a weed shop, which is like literally 10 minutes from my house. It's called The Weed Shop, that's its name. And I got two German Shepherds, Lucky and Birdie, a mom and a daughter. And I have these pink harnesses that have saddlebags on each side. So every week we walk down to the weed shop, I buy a criminal amount of fucking weed, stuff it into their saddlebags, and then we walk back through Hollywood, and they're so fucking proud, man. They're like, we don't know what it is, but it sure makes him happy, you know. So we do that once a week. One week I was going, it was not this Christmas, but the Christmas before. I walk the dogs down there, and I get in, and Sam, who runs the weed shop, he goes, hey man, we got a gift for you. And I was like, oh shit, is that a thing? I didn't get you guys anything. Like, am I supposed to get my bud tender a present? And he's like, we didn't buy you a present. We have a gift for you. Somebody dropped it off. And he brought out a box that if this was the counter, starts here, it goes about this fucking high, and it was about this wide and shit. It was black, completely fucking black. Looked like, you know, the monolith from the opening of 2001 and shit. And I was like, what is it? And he goes, open it. I was like, how do you open it? And he showed me there's a seam. Opened up these two doors in the front, man, and it was packed with Jeter's weed, man, all different sizes. The jar of 5 dog walkers, really short joint, called dog walkers because you can smoke it the time it takes you to walk your fucking dog. Then they got the 1 gram joint, like what you think of when you see joint in your head. Then they had a 1.5 like gram cannon that would get you and your fucking generations after you high and shit. So each one, the whole thing's packed. Each one has my strain, the strain I smoke. They got a bunch of different strains. My favorite strain is called Milkman. It tastes like you're smoking breakfast cereal. It honestly tastes like you're smoking Lucky Charms. It's magically delicious and shit. So it was all stuffed with Milkman and shit, but the Milkman stickers that are normally on the bottles all stripped off, and all the stickers had my face on it. And I was like, what the fuck is this all about? Like, am I dying or something? And he goes, you're Jeter's best customer. And I was like, get out of here, in the store? And he goes, nationwide. And I was like, holy fucking shit. So I called up the Jeter kids, man, and I was like, oh my God, I can't thank you enough for all this weed. This is gonna last like a week and shit. I said, what do I owe the pleasure? And they said, we want to do a collab with you. And I said, I would love that, because it smelled like some free weed and shit. And so they said, for National Donut Day, we're going to do another donut joint drop. We did it last year. We dropped our first donut joint. I said, what is it? He goes, it's a big ass joint, 1.5 gram. It's got the keef inside, on the outside on the wrapper. It's got infused flour inside, but also stuck in the middle is a rosin noodle. So when you're smoking it, man, you're getting fucking triply as high and shit. And so I said, what's that have to do with Jay and Silent Bob? And he goes, I want to make the strain Jay and Silent Bob theme. We want to call it Jay and Silent Bob's Blunt Man's Chronic. And I was like, fucking yes, please goddamn do that. And so I was thinking of this donut joint, and the way he described it to me, man, like didn't clock with me. Like, I guess it's called the donut joint because when you smoke it, that noodle in the middle, it makes it burn so it looks like an O. And some stoner must have been like, that looks like a donut or something like that. They called it that. So for me, when he explained it, I thought it was gonna roll up in my face like a party favor and shit. And he goes, we're not there yet, man, but he goes, you're gonna fucking feel like it, that's for sure and shit. And I said, well, how many do you make? And he goes, last year's limited time item, we only made 40,000 and stuff. I was like, holy shit. And he said it took about 8 months for all the stores to sell out. Once it's gone, it's gone. I said, how much does it cost? It's like, it's a $60 joint. I was like, that's fucking expensive. He goes, it could feed a small village. So I said, all right, man. I said, so it sounds like it's gonna take us a while to sell it out. And he said, yeah. Went on sale, sold out that fucking day, first day. So they were like, we want to do a permanent strain with you. And I was like, get out of here. He said, yeah, just like you like Milkman, we want to do permanent Jay and Silent Bob strain. So I was like, great, Blunt Man's Chronic? He goes, no, we want to hold that for Donut Day. We want to create a new strain with you. I said, how do we do that? He goes, you come over to the Jeter Mansion in Beverly Hills and we have a tasting party. And I was like, is that as wonderful as it sounds? He said, oh, you're gonna fucking find out. So we went. Now, I've been in the business 32 years at this point, and I've been to rich people's houses. I've been to mansions in Beverly fucking Hills and stuff, but I've never been to the mansion of a couple of 30-year-old weed billionaires, man. It's like they watched Scarface and they were like, let's do all of this. So we got in, man, they opened up these doors like Jurassic Park and shit, and everybody's arms strapped with Uzis and shit, palm trees everywhere, and they're like, go down by the pool. And I half expected by the pool there'd be a tiger on a chain and shit. So they're like, let's sit poolside. There's somebody cooking by the poolside. I said, is that the tasting party? They said, that's for after the tasting party. I said, so what is it, man? What's the tasting party? They said, we're bringing it out. So I sat down, it was me, Jason Hughes' wife Jordan runs our company. Then the Jeter kids, man. And then two people came out holding a tray. Looked more like a stretcher because it took two people to hold it shit. And on this tray, it was split up into 3 sections with joints, all laid out with such incredible precision. Beautifully laid out. If you had OCD, you would have come just looking at it. So I was like, what's this all about? He goes, this is the tasting party, man. We got 3 different flavors that we want to go through. We want you to pick the one you like, and then that's going to be the permanent strain. I said, all right, man, how are we going to smoke all this weed? And he's going, we're going to taste all this weed. And he goes, and first, we all pick up the first joint, pick up the small one. And I said, we going to light it? And he goes, no, we're going to do a dry hit. I said, what's a dry hit? He goes, you don't light it, you just go like this. You just hit it, like without biting, go. I was like, what's the fucking point, man? I was like, life is all one terrible, long, dry fucking hit. Like, let's light this shit. So we light it, and so he goes, put your joint down after I take a hit. We all put our joints down and shit. And he's like, exhale, we exhale. He goes, what do you taste? And I was like, well, I taste chocolate. He goes, that's right, man. We took Milkman, the strain you love, and we put a chocolate profile on top of it, and we want to call it Mooby's Chocolate Milkshake. And I instantly got so hard, man. Because I was like, oh my God, my little cow's gonna have his own weed. This is what a wonderful life and shit. So he goes, let's move on to the next size. It was the next size up, like regular gram joint. I said, is this a different strain? He goes, same strain. I was like, well then, what's the difference? Why the big joint? Why are we smoking the bigger joint? It's just a bigger version of the small joint. He goes, it takes longer time to get to your lungs, man. It's gonna be a different story altogether and shit. And I was like, all right, let's tell that story together. And shit. So we smoked every size of the fucking weed, but only like one hit, and then put it down, and then moved on to the next fucking size. Then we moved on to the center section, which was a completely different flavor. It was strawberry, which I thought was gonna be the winner, man. They were like, we call it movie strawberry milkshake, and I love strawberry, so I thought it would be that. But then they introduced me to the third flavor, man. And they're like, do a dry hit. Like Jason Mewes was there, and he hasn't fucked with drugs in a while. He's sober, man. But he could do the dry hit. He fucking loved that shit. Because every time they're like, everybody dry hit, he was like, you know. And then when we lit it, he had to fucking walk away and shit. So we went to the third flavor, man. He goes, dry hit. And I hit it and stuff. He goes, what do you taste? I said, it tastes like that candy, Banana Runts. He goes, that's right, man. But we took milkman, we put a banana profile on top of it, so we want to call it Movies Banana Milkshake. I said, look, let's go with banana. This is the one. He goes, you like that flavor? I said, not at all. It's my least favorite flavor. I said, I love strawberry, but this gives us the best fucking marketing hook. He goes, why? I said, because we can call it Jay and Silent Bob's Banana Hammock. And they were like, fucking sold, man. And so Jay and Silent Bob Banana Hammock is on fucking stands right now, but we sold out the first fucking drop and shit. So after the smoke party and shit, after we did all the fucking tasting party, he was like, let's go eat. And I was like, everyone got up and they were heading over to the fucking food. I said, wait a second, what's gonna happen to all these fucking joints? We took one hit of it, just lit, and he goes, well, those weren't real joints, those are just testers. They're just meant for you to hit once. And then we just throw them out. And I'm like, the fuck you do? And I put them all in a garbage bag, and I took them home with me. And for the next 4 months, I smoked all of those joints and shit. I got 3 cold sores. But it was fucking worth it because of all the free weed. So that was the joint that wound up in the bottom of my bag that saved the Indianapolis show, man, Banana Hammock. And I'm happy to tell you that you're all swinging in it right now with me, man. All right, let's dive over to you. You've been waiting for a red hot minute. I mean, you weren't waiting so long, you had a baby, for God's sakes. What's your name, Captain?
It's Bert.
Bert?
Yeah.
Give it up for Bert, kid.
Yeah, and Kev, right after your John Hughes part, that young lady, she snuck past up here, past security and everybody to get the question for everybody.
Serious?
Serious.
I mean,
No.
that makes me
I
think
clap
that
for her.
most people like fuck with my shit look like me and you, old.
Yes. Old white guys.
So it's not yet very much so. So
It still works.
Yeah, fucking nice. That was nice. Thank you for letting her through and not tripping her and shit.
No.
What's the name of this little beauty?
This is Kaya Ripley Shock.
Hi, Kaya. Hi. Everybody say hi, Kaya. Hi, Kaya. She doesn't fucking speak English yet, man. Working on it. Beautiful, man. Goddamn beautiful.
Yeah,
Congratulations. I had one a long time ago. They turned into people and shit.
Yeah, if you'd like to do your best Cardinal Glick, feel free. Carlin can live through you.
How would I do that? That's Cardinal Clip.
Kiss the baby.
Do you want me to kiss
I
the
do.
baby?
That's my polite way.
Where do I? I
I
mean,
think they agree.
I'll kiss the baby. No Epstein. I will kiss the baby. Because
I
you
don't think
asked,
he's
like,
talking
I'm
about
honored. That means what? Where's the best place to go, right? Like there and shit?
Sure.
All
Whatever
right,
you
kids,
like.
will you bear with me while I go kiss the baby and shit? I'm from Hollywood where we eat those. Go ahead, man. Let's chit chat now. How
Yes, sir.
sweet.
No, thank you. Dream come true. Whether you know it or not. So last year you talked about Stan Lee and his legacy, and you and Jay coming out here, Jersey boys, coming out to the back entrance and not really being able to take in the preponderance of all of that. I wondered, you know, obviously at this point in your career, and I know you want to talk too. I wanted to know if you've given much thought, because at this point we're able to. I know, I want to eat it. If you, I'm sorry.
No worries. I'm going through a thing. I just realized I don't have my wallet.
You don't have your weed?
No, I know where that is.
Oh, yeah.
I always know where that is. But is my wallet backstage, kids? Is that even on that chair backstage? I think I probably. Fucking Gosling took my wallet? Do you have? Thank you. All right, back to you.
No, that's not at all. Now, I wanted to know if you'd given much thought, because obviously you get to this point where you get this creative license to tell the stories that you wanted to tell. And you're at this point in your career where you can probably say, hey, I want to do this. And if you thought about putting your stamp on it, I know you were going to get this zoom out from Clerks 2, we go from color to black and white again. Have you thought about it? I'd like to hear if you're willing to share, and obviously not, you know, spoiling contracts or. You know.
Have I thought about what? I'm sorry.
Something you'd like to do to cement your own legacy, like you talked about with Stan Lee, where everyone in here is here for him. Obviously, we're all in here for you.
But that means the goddamn world. I don't know. There's no, every, you know, year something pops up where I'm like, oh, that'd be cool to do and stuff. The next movie I know we're gonna make is Jay and Silent Bob's Store Wars, man. So getting to do another Jay and Silent Bob movie. At age, by the time we start shooting, I'll be 56 years old and stuff. And I want to go back in time and tell the 23-year-old kid that started the journey, like, stay healthy. We keep doing this shit for 3 fucking decades, man. Like, what you see as a Cheech and Chong ripoff becomes your life, you know. So it's fun to be able to do that, but there's 2 that I know are in the offing. One I've written already, and one I'm in the middle of writing. One is this movie about animation history. It's a biopic, and it's like, I'm not like an awards type of guy, but it feels like that kind of movie. It feels like a movie that is more about prestige than anything else. Very much not a Kevin Smith type of movie, but it's about a subject that's very dear to me. And then the other one that I've started working on, which I fucking absolutely love and is turning into a fucking banger, is Dogma. The sequel to Dogma. Which has been just a fucking trip for me. First time I wrote that script for the original Dogma, I just realized recently, like, it's a funny movie and it's a movie that's, you know, shows the beauty of faith. But I remember the kid that wrote it, and I remember the script, and it's not like the movie changed drastically from the page to the screen, but everything softens with performance and the visuals and stuff. But that was an angry fucking script, because I was so angry when I wrote it, because I was a fucking hardcore Catholic, dyed in the wool, but I believed in my faith, man. I was a big fan of being Catholic. It was a big part of my identity. As much as it's like, I'm from New Jersey, the other part of it was like, I'm fucking Catholic. Like, I was a Catholic school kid. I was an altar boy for like 12 years and shit like that. So it was a big part of my identity, and I believed in it. Same way I believed in this Marvel shit. I sat backstage and watched those trailers and realized, there's my new faith, there's my religion. This is the only fucking thing that I'll come watch somebody else's show. Normally I'm into doing the show myself. I don't really get to fan out about much anymore, but you'd be damn skippy. I came for that fucking Marvel panel, because that is as much faith that I used to have in the Catholic Church. Like, that much fervency, that much fucking love for the subject and shit. And why I wrote Dogma was because it fucking angered me, it disgusted me that people who were part of my faith didn't see it in the same way, that they treated it like a burden instead of a blessing. Like they say in the movie, like, you know, they're never there to celebrate their faith. They all sounded like they were there to mourn it and stuff. And meanwhile, these were some of the coolest fucking stories in the world. The characters were fucking like comic book characters. They just didn't have masks or capes or anything like that. But all of that biblical lore, Christian mythology, meant something to me. It wasn't mythology. That shit was fucking real and stuff. So Dogma was the last gasp of the dying Catholic who was so struggling to hold on to his faith because it was such a big part of his fucking identity. It was almost the biggest part of his identity at that point in his life. And it was a struggle because it was starting to slip away. I'm sad to say I don't have my faith anymore. And I don't, fucking hold it against anybody that does. I wish I still had my faith like I did when I was a kid. I wouldn't have gone crazy 3 years ago, wound up in a fucking nut house if I still had my faith, because back then there were no problems. Are you kidding me? Fucking Jesus, take the wheel. And nothing bad could ever happen to me. But when you lose your faith and shit, you realize that, like, I'm the only one that's gonna drive. I'm the only one that's gonna get us around these fucking bends and shit like that. And it's lonely. And sometimes it hits you fucking hard. So Dogma was a movie, like, I just rewatched it a couple thousand times while I was touring it last year and shit. And fairly recently it hit me, man. I'm like, you can't make that movie again because you don't feel that way about the Catholic faith. Like, that was the last gasps of what you felt about Catholicism. But you cared about it. That's what's at the root of that movie. How much you cared about it and how much you realized it was out of your hands. You had to fucking let it go. And so I was like, what do you care about that much? Like, what do you feel that way toward now? Like, what is it that fucking, like, burns your soul? What are you angry about, Kev? And I try never to be fucking angry, man. Like, you find me on the internet, I'm the guy that fucking loves everything. I'm Mr. Positive and shit. Years ago, I used to talk about shit I didn't like, but it's been 10, 15, maybe 20 years since I ever fucking let people know what I didn't like. If I love a movie, you'll fucking never hear the end of it from me. But if I don't like it, you'll never hear me once mention it. You don't know that kind of shit. Because there's enough negativity out there. And I don't need to feed into that shit. I don't need to be like, hey man, you know what sucks? Like, because the thing that I may think sucks may be the thing that saves your fucking life. It's the thing that you're like, that's my piece of art. That's everything. So I learned to keep my mouth shut and just talk about the shit that I extol the virtues of the things I love. Now there are people out there going, well, that's not being honest. It's like, yeah, it is. I don't have to honestly fucking tell you every thought I have, and particularly negative thoughts, man. The world doesn't fucking need that shit. So I keep that shit to myself. And I don't really think about it. I watch a thing, if I don't like it, I don't fucking spend the next 2 weeks being like, you know what else fucking makes me mad about it? Fucking let it go and go on with my life. And I was like, well, I won't get fucking fooled again. I'll skip that and shit. But sometimes there's a sequel that comes out. I was like, well, I believe in it. I'm gonna try it again. And I fucking pull the handle and maybe I get fucked, maybe I don't. And shit. But regardless, it's just fucking entertainment. So I was trying to figure out what is it that you would, for lack of a better description, slip the mask for. So I enjoy being a person that's very fucking positive, man. That's the way I was raised. And I lost my mother back in December and stuff, and I always want to be my mother's son. The person that she put out there, she loved this shit. She loved me going to Comic-Cons. The first year of my life that at the end of the shit, I won't be hearing from my mom at the end of the day going, Tiger, how did it go? Tell me all about it. I would have told her, oh ma, I saw Robert Downey Jr. and I cummed my pants. And she would have been like, oh, you didn't say that to him, did you? I said, Mom, I'm not that famous enough to talk to Robert Downey Jr. So thank you. So I want to be that person forever, man. You don't want to be the person that lets people down. Stan was that guy. You think anyone ever met Stan on a fucking bad day? Motherfucker knew the moment he was public facing, and public facing doesn't just mean here. It means the moment he stepped out of his fucking house, he would turn it on, even if his heart was breaking. I remember after his beloved wife, Joni, passed away, watching him have to turn it on and go out there into the world. And he did it because he understood that for everybody out there, someone was going to meet that man for the first time. And they'd waited a lifetime to do it. He was not going to let them fucking down just because he was going through a personal crisis or something like that. So there are those of us that believe in being positive, and that man was a mentor to me. So I never want to let the mask slip and shit. And I sat there going like, can you possibly write a sequel to Dogma if you're not angry like that, like you used to be? I don't really have anything to be angry about anymore. Life worked out well for me and shit. Like you said, I get to like make movies and whatnot, not always like expensive ones, very cheap ones and shit. But I still get to do the thing that I dreamed about doing, and then other cool things like writing comics and shit. So really I have no right to be angry. And people have been telling me online for the last 12 years that I have no right to be angry about anything because fucking like my life has worked out and shit like that. And so for a long time I've just been real quiet about shit. I finally found something I'm fucking angry about. Something that meant the world to me. Thank you. Thank you. I found my wallet. Claire did. Give it up for Claire. So I finally figured out something I care about, and it's slipping away from me. And as much as I cared about my father's faith, the faith of my father, the faith of my mother, all that time I spent believing as a believer and stuff, I was like, what do I have that I feel that way about now? And I fucking figured it out. And because of it, the screenplay is fire. It's angry, but not in a shitty way where you're like, oh my God, this ain't gonna be entertaining. It's entertaining, it's funny as fuck, man. And the Jay and Silent Bob stuff really took a jump. Because I figured out something, I can't tell you, but fucking, they were always gonna be funny, but fucking this week I saw something and maybe go, that's going in the fucking movie and stuff. So I can't wait to share it with y'all. I'm writing it now. We won't even start working on it till the earliest, 2027, but I promise you, if I'm going to step up to the plate with another dogma, it has to matter as much as the other one, because I've met people for the last fucking almost 30 years who talk about what that movie meant to them and stuff, whether they were raised Catholic or not. And it's crazy. I get them from all sides. There are people who are like, that's the movie that brought me closer to Christ. And I'm like, seriously? But then there are people who are like, that's the movie that set me free from all that religious bullshit and shit. So I know the movie has weight to it. I know of everything I've done, fucking that movie has the most prestige to it, coolest cast, and had the most on its mind, probably the most inventive, creative thing I ever did. So the idea of like, all right, let's do it again, I ain't going into lightly, and I hit a place where I'm like, oh, this is gonna make it worth it. Everyone who was in the original one, if they want to come back, they can. And I'll write them into it and stuff like that, but I love this subject too much to lay it on the shoulders of who came before. Because that's a lot of fucking pressure. Because that's really, presuming upon friendships that I have with these people. It's like, hey man, come out. And these people can command better salaries working other places other than a Kevin Smith movie. So I will set the table for all of them to come back if they want. But I promise you, if they're like, no way, for that money, or I can't do it, or I'm busy and shit, it won't stop me. I have something to fucking say. Very important for the first time in a long time, and I can't wait to share it with you, but it's gonna take a fucking minute, but we'll get there, kids. All right, let's jump over to you. What's your name?
Hey Kevin, my name's Keith.
Give it up for Keith. Keith is next.
I'm coming to see you since 2013, checking out your thing in All H.
This thing?
Yeah.
Oh my God, thank you. You're the one.
I brought my girlfriend here for her first Comic-Con, so we've watched most of your movies. Looking forward to Moose Jaws someday. But anyway,
You and me both.
Anyway, my question was, before we started dating, I used to watch a show on Netflix that was a big favorite of mine. We're both science nerds. It was called Explained. And there was an episode all about weed, and I learned a lot about it. And imagine my surprise, it narrated by Kevin Smith. Now, how did that come about? Like, did you reach out to Netflix? Did they reach out to you? How did that?
They reached out to me, but I honestly feel it was because Seth Rogen passed. Like, that's happened to me before, man. I'm the backup weed guy and stuff. I went in to do The Simpsons. Like, I've been a Simpsons fan my whole fucking life. And a couple seasons ago, they're like, we want you to come in and do a voice. And I was like, oh! And they were like, we want you to play you. And I was like, oh! Even more so. And they drew me in the hockey jersey and the long coat and shit like that. It was everything. So when I went in to record, I only had like one line where I talked to Homer and referred to him as my dad or something like that. So while I was in there, I met the people, the director of the episode, and people recording me and stuff. And I was like, kids, I can't thank you enough for doing this. Like, well, we're honored to have you. And I was like, well, it's very sweet of you to say, but who passed for me to be standing here? They're like, what? And I was like, I got this call like 2 days ago. So I get the feeling that somebody passed. Like, no, you were the first choice. I was like, it was Seth Rogen, wasn't it? They go, yeah. So I'm kind of used to that sort of thing. But they reached out and they were like, would you like to narrate the episode? And I love the sound of my own voice. So I was like, absolutely. And I thought they were offering me the series. So I was like, ooh, what's next? And they're like, we just want you to do weed, that's it. But yeah, it's on. Is it still there on Netflix? I know they dip shit out sometimes, but it might still be there. It's totally fun to do. And I snuck it on my wife one night, man. He was scrolling through fucking Netflix. She's like, what do you want to watch? I was like, well, there's this program that sounds kind of informational and stuff. Let's watch it. Oh, there's one about weed. It's only 15 minutes. Let's watch it. You know, I pressed play and fucking all of a sudden she heard my voice. She was like, what the fuck? I got to do that one other time too. We love the show on history called The Food That Built America. Such a fucking amazing show. And we were watching it for like catching up on all the seasons of that. And then I found out a friend of mine who used to make Comic Book Men, the show that we did on AMC. He's in charge of the show. So he's like, I heard you on the podcast blowing up the fucking show. Do you want to be on it? I said, fuck yeah. So I went and I became one of the people they interviewed where I'm like, oh man, fucking Hostess cakes. I had those when I was a kid, you know, whatever the fuck. So I didn't tell Jennifer. And so we were watching, like the new season popped up and shit like that. And there was an episode that I was in, I think it was the Target episode. And so I said, oh, they got a new Food That Built America. And it was not the Food That Built America, it was one of the sub shows, which is like the businesses that built America or whatever it is. The brands that built America. So I said, they got a new Brands That Built America, man, it's about Target. And she's like, all right, let's watch it. I fucking put it on and shit. 3 minutes in, all of a sudden, a guy who looks suspiciously like me pops up and starts going, oh my God, I love Target, and whatever. And my wife's like, what the fuck? And I got so laid that night. Man. You know, she doesn't really like, she tolerates all the Jane Silent Bob stuff. Even though she's been in those fucking movies and shit, she's like, that's your thing. But every once in a while I do something that impresses her, and that fucking impressed her, man. She was just like, I can't believe you made it into that world and shit. Yeah, I got sex all day. Thank you, man. Good talking to you. What's your name, Captain?
Hey, Kevin. Hey, I'm Nico.
Give it up for Nico. Nico's next.
Hopefully, not sure you think this is fucking wild, but you think we actually know we talked to each other back in 2022 at Comic-Con.
Did we? Here?
Yeah.
In this thing?
As I was Green Arrow.
Okay,
Yeah.
good seeing you again.
Yeah.
I was probably dressed the exact same way. I tell you.
So I have a question. If you could produce a horror comedy, who would you want to write the script, and what could be the best film title? It has to be a low production budget film.
Low budget. Yeah, if they're letting me work on it, it has to be. I mean, I can make one up, but I'll tell you the one I want to make, and we mentioned it before, Moose Jaws, man. I'm getting closer. It's a very low budget horror movie. It's Jaws, but with a moose instead of a shark. And we almost had the money, but we were so close, and then the money fucking went away. It was Irish money, and it took off on us and shit. So we'll get there, man. I'm patient. Like, it's the only thing lately that's been bugging me, because it reminds me, like, I don't have any regrets about my career. I love everything I've done. But now, I'm like, man, I wish I'd been a more commercial filmmaker. Like, I wish I'd put more thought into making money and shit. Money was always the last thing. Like, money's the easiest thing to drop if you're trying to get the movie made. The most important thing was making the thing. So it's like, you know, if it's like, we need $5 million, they're like, you'll never get it. It's like, okay, we could do it for $1. And they're like, holy shit, here. So doing that means that, like, you get the movie made, but it means also that I don't have, like, a stockpile of fucking cash that I live on and stuff. So I wish I did. Like, I wish I was like JJ or something where I was commercially successful. Because then Moose Jaws would be done by now. I wouldn't be out there hat in hand going like, you want to give me money for that Moose movie and shit like that? It'd be nice to be able to just be like, I'm going to pay for that shit myself. So hopefully, man, I've always got some plates spinning. I'm always hoping one day maybe something spins into like a success enough where I can finance it myself. But if not, I gotta wait and still find money. Like the one that we're hoping to make at the end of this year, we've been searching for money for almost 2 years at this point. Yeah, it's tough, man. It's a business right now. I don't know if you've been paying attention, but movie business is not in great fucking shape. Like, if it was Krypton, it's time to send the baby off the planet. That shit's about to blow up. So it's, you know, I'm appreciative though that I ever got any movie made, let alone in this environment, like in a world where fucking money's getting tighter and shit. There's no expectation, right? Like, it's a weird job to be like, I want to make pretend, give me $20 million and Ben Affleck, you know? So I'm just, if I can't get the money, I'm like, it'll come or it won't. There's nothing we can do about it. Meanwhile, I'll just busy myself doing some other shit until that happens. I'll go write comics or I'll go do stand-up shows and stuff like that. Next Sunday, I turn 56, and thank you, still alive. And I'm doing a birthday show at the Starlight Cabaret over in the Valley out in Los Angeles and stuff. So I'm always, you know, I got something to do. I'm always trying to stay busy. So if the money for a movie doesn't show up, you know, I'm not just going to sit around and do nothing. I be creative in other ways. But if I could get a little bit of loot, that would be the horror movie I've been desperate to make for over 10 years now. But I believe in it. I believe we'll get there. In a world where they made Cocaine Bear, they have to make Moose Jaws one day. Thank you, man. Good talking to you, Nico. What's your name, Captain?
Wyatt.
Give it up for Wyatt, man. Take us there, Wyatt. Hell of a beard, Captain.
Well, I had a question, but will you kiss me?
Meet me over there, man. Wyatt. They said no? Who said no? You or them? Well, what do you feel in your heart? You were kidding, because I wasn't. Fair enough. Meet me in the back alley, Wyatt. I have a special kind of kiss for you. Hey! What's your name again? What is it?
Alberto.
What is it?
It's Spanish.
Okay, say it slow for the sound system is a little weird. Say it phonetically. Do it one, what is it?
Alberto.
Alberto! Give it up for Alberto, man. It's Spanish. Thank you, Alberto. Alberto, the room is yours, my friend. What can I help you with?
So I've been coming here for 10 years.
How old are you?
10.
Fair enough. From zygote all the way on, man.
And I would like to know if you will continue doing He-Man and if there's any plans for She-Ra.
Yes, is the short answer. And I was actually supposed to have lunch about it yesterday with some friends of mine who I worked with on the first go-around of Masters of the Universe and stuff. Because there's a way we could do the story, finish what we started with Masters of the Universe, and tell the She-Ra story. 'Cause that's what we were leading up to, is bringing She-Ra into it. So the short answer is yes, it's coming, man. But there are some people in this world who would rather I had nothing to do with it. I heard from them online when I made it the first time. They were very vocal and stuff. So I will step cautiously if I do it again. But I think you're going to see that She-Ra story. Thank you, Alberto. What's your name, Captain?
Carlos.
Give it up for Carlos, man.
Hey, so I've been talking to you the past few years. We've been all about writing an animated series or creating one. You told me that if it gets picked up, I can be on the writing staff. I'm just curious, what's the status with that?
Nothing. Nobody want here. I'll tell you, I went out pitching this year. Last year we did a comic book over at the Archie Comics folks group. Archie meets Jay and Silent Bob. And so we took that out and pitched it, like everywhere, man. And everyone was like, oh my God, this is really funny. And we're like, you want to do it? They're like, no. like Netflix was like, we're concentrating on video game animation this year, but they're like, it's kind of a clever idea and shit. But nobody was into it, man. So, you know, I didn't take that personally as much as I took it. Like, nothing seems to be moving that much right now at the moment. Or it could just be with like Archie and fucking Jay and Silent Bob, ew. But the comic worked out like so well that the Archie folks were like, let's take it out into the world and pitch it as a show. And so the episode breakdowns were like really funny. Like one of the episodes was, because it was all about taking the Archie kids and crossing them over with the View Askew characters. So when we were in Riverdale and all the Archie characters were in color, and then whenever they went to New Jersey, all the cartoon characters were black and white, but Archie would be color in a black and white world, and if Jay and Silent Bob went to Riverdale, they'd be black and white and color and stuff like that. So the stories were kind of like modern, like teen stories. So one of them was Millie, who is Jay's daughter in the movies. Archie has a crush on her, so Millie convinces Archie to go help her free some cows, you know, from a abattoir, because she's like a vegan animal lover and shit. But while they're there, they all get arrested by ICE. And then Jay and Silent Bob have to break them out of detention in Florida, you know. So I wonder why they didn't pick that show up. But yeah, sadly, no cartoon news to be given you. Thank you. Good seeing you. What's your name, Captain?
All right. I'm Russ,
Give it up for Russ, man.
Thank you. AKA Sharpimus Prime. And pro tip, if you get the gram cheaters and you get a bunch of Sharpies because you sign shit as you travel, as you need to do.
I do.
Yeah, so just get a bunch of Sharpies and then your 1 gram cheaters and you should be set. You can go to Atlanta, you can go to New York.
Oh, you mean use the Sharpies to
mask it? Yeah. I use my bag and I put them in there and then.
That's a smart plan. That's a good tip. Thank you.
Yeah, and Cheater, if you need another sponsor, you know, Sharpimus Prime over, you know, check me out, Cheater. I'm here for you.
I don't think they're here tonight. Except in my pocket.
Yeah, mine too. I'm ready to go. But my question was the Masterverse, or Master of the Universe Revelation. I watched that series and I loved it, and then I went on YouTube and I watched a couple of reviews and I was like, oh, they didn't seem to love it as much as I loved it.
Yeah.
And then I watched the whole thing all over again, and then I loved it all over again.
Oh.
And it made me feel like I was kind of like, what the fuck is going on in my head that's different from somebody else or a bunch of other people? And I wonder, like, did you have that? You must have had that experience as well. And how do you kind of just move past that and just keep doing your own thing? And as another side question, I'm sure you did an episode all about the Master of the Universe movie, but I also wanted to hear more of your thoughts on Master of the Universe.
I loved the movie. I thought the movie was great, and honestly, like, that dude's very talented. Was it Travis Knight, the director? And I thought they did a wonderful fucking job bringing the world to life. And any deep cuts hardcore fan going way back to the toys, even before the cartoon, would be like, oh my God, I thought they stuck the landing. And I just read online that, you know, it didn't do too well at the box office, but I don't think Amazon was really gunning for the box office as much as what they got out of it, which is now streaming #1 in the world and stuff. So it looks like we might get more, which is a cool thing. Yes, when I worked on the Masters of the Universe, some cats were very unhappy. The first season, I remember being so excited for it to come out because I was like, this is some of the best work I've ever done. And there were a bunch of people who disagreed completely and shit. And it was on like day 1 of shooting Clerks 3. And which was actually turned out to be helpful because otherwise I would have been so distracted, like scrolling online, reading positive reviews and shit like that. But since like it was nothing but hate online, I was like, I'll go concentrate on making this movie. You know? So when the problem was, we figured out, or Netflix told us, because after you do a thing, 3-4 months later on, they give you a report card. You know, there's no box office, so you don't know how you're doing and shit. The only way you know is if you show up in the top 10 chart and shit. But then eventually Netflix has this kind of parent-teacher conference with you where they give you all of the data that they have. And the data they got off of the first season of Masters of the Universe Revelation was we should not have split it up over 2 separate periods. Like they dropped 5 episodes, and then there was like a 4-month break, and then they dropped another 5. So the algorithm told them that they should have put it all as one, so everybody could have consumed it at once. So that fed into season 2. Season 2 was shorter, but it was delivered all at once, so there was no split between time. And then season 2, like, was the one that people really went for. Like, all the Sturm and Drang of season 1 of Revelation was not there for Revolution. People seemed to like what we did with Revolution and stuff. So it was like, it took another 2 years or whatever, but it kind of made up for going through it with the first one. But I still dig it, man. I meet people all the time who are like, oh my God, that's how I got my kid into it. I've been watching this shit since I was a kid, and that was so true. But I've also met people in person who are just like, you fucking ruined my childhood. Like, you broke my fucking toys, Silent Bill, you know. Like, and it does make me reticent about, like, working with other people's characters, you know? Like, nobody comes after me for, like, you fucked up Jay and Silent Bob. I'm like, I invented Jay and Silent Bob. Like, if I want to fuck them up, I can and shit. But playing with somebody else's characters, people have a sense of authorship or ownership even, where they're like, hey man, like that was my thing, and you didn't play with it the way I wanted you to play with it. So it makes me always a little leery of doing it again. I only started dipping my toe back in with writing the comic books, like working at Marvel. Like I've done some Spider-Man stuff. The Jay and Bob book is very safe because it's my character amongst their characters, but still, we could have gotten taken down by a bunch of people who were like, oh, this is fucking terrible, but they seem to go for it and shit. Hopefully they go for the Spider-Man Hulk book that I got coming out in August as well, but if not, I'm gonna hear from a bunch of people online telling me like, how I don't know how to write those characters either and stuff, which just comes along with it. So it's like sometimes you sit there and go, is it worth it? Like, you know, I got a chance, like I remember when Marvel's like, hey man, we got that Spider-Man movie coming out, Hulk said, do you want to write a Spider-Man Hulk book? And initially, because of Masters of the Universe, I was like, oh God, no. Because that's gonna make somebody somewhere very mad and very vocal, and I'm gonna have to fucking hear about it online, how I've ruined it and let somebody down. But then, really it just comes down to like, okay, let that be your decision, but go back in time and tell the young version of you who loves this shit to death that you are given the chance to play with these characters and fucking write your own comic book with these characters, man. But you don't want to do it because you're scared somebody might say something mean on the internet. That kid wouldn't fucking understand any of that bullshit. So at that point, I'm like, just honor the kid that got you here. The only reason I'm standing on the Whole Age stage is because the kid I was had a dream and followed it, loved this shit, and gravitated toward this world. The least I can do is pay that kid back by not fucking selling out on him, being like, oh, I'm not gonna take an opportunity that's given to me because like somebody might be mean about the results. You know what? Some people are gonna like it, some people aren't gonna like it. And hopefully there's more of the former than the latter, but regardless, when it's all said and done, I got it. It goes up on my shelf and it's one more thing that I got to do in my weird ass career. So as much as it makes me like reticent to head towards other people's characters and play with their IP, their intellectual property, there's just some things that are too good to fucking pass up, man, where it's just like, go be a kid, have fucking fun, dream, play with these characters. I'm never gonna make these movies and shit, so I love playing in the comics. And so hopefully people like what we're doing, and that Masters of the Universe thing, like we did Revelation, and there's one more to do, and I think you're gonna see it. Fingers crossed. All right. What's your name, Captain?
Hi, my name is Russell.
Give it up for Russell. Do you have a Doom mask? What did they give out? Did it come with a cape? Is that what they gave out in Hall Age?
Yes.
So it was a mask and a cape?
Yes.
Yeah, so the panel started at 5:30.
I was here, bitch. I was right back there. They didn't give me a mask or a fucking cape or anything like that.
They gave us 30 minutes to put this on before 6 o'clock. And
did you need more time? It seems kind of simple.
Yes.
They put on a good show. The Disney folks did the big Avengers panel, and they did the masks. And I know last year they had me moderate 2 panels for them here. One was the serious? No, fucking you got one. I know people. Don't give me one. Trust me. I know the lady who had it made. I'll ask her. You're very kind, though. Thank you for that. Love you. Last year they hired me to moderate the 2 panels for them. One was the Tron Legacy panel, and one was the Predator panel. And so I met all the people that put that shit on, and it's such like a stage thing. Like they put months of work into it before it ever fucking happens. And then when you sit backstage, you see all these people running around to like, just so that we could all have the moment where, the Avengers show up in the back of the room and stuff like that. When I was here working for Disney last year, they did this thing for the Tron panel where they fucking lit up the wall and it opened up and the Tron soldiers came out. It was like a living special effect and shit. It's nuts. And then when we did the Predator panel, they brought the Predator King out and shit, and he was looking at the audience, and they put it up on the screen, and it was Predator vision, so everywhere he looked and shit, and then he looked at me, and I was in that E-vision thing. And so he said some shit in Yautja, their language, and then he fucked off. And I told the audience, I was like, I don't know what he said, but I think it was something about the Epstein files. And I thought Disney would never ask me back for another panel this year. And they didn't this year, but I saw the people who did the panel, and they were very welcoming to me. They were like, Kevin and shit, so I feel like it was cool. But I'll ask her for one of those fucking masks. Anyway, back over to you.
Oh, my question?
But, sidebar. Just because that made me think of it. So, did everyone in Hall H get one of them masks? Yeah. All right, so they did that for fucking Predator last year too. They 3D printed these masks, and everybody, they took a picture, they pulled out the mask and put them on. So at one point when I was talking to them last year, I was like, how much does that shit fucking cost? And they told me. So I think I have an idea of how much those Dr. Doom masks cost them, man. And it's what it costs them, they will make back tons in the social media posts of everybody wearing those fucking masks. So they told me the figure and I went, and they were like, don't worry about it. We'll make that back. So in any event, what was your question, Pat?
Today's Apple TV panel reminded me of a legendary story that Apple employees used to tell in the break room about how you got to get the first iPhone in 2007.
What?
Yeah, so back when I worked there, they said Apple geniuses and employees weren't allowed to talk about celebrities that came into the store, because what happened was you came in to the genius part, and then afterwards something happened where they complained about you, and then somebody from Wired magazine heard what the employee said and wrote a story about it. And then to make it up to you, the Apple Store put you at the front of the line for their very first iPhone. Can you tell me what you remember or what's your take on that story?
It's so charming. I don't want to disabuse you of that fucking notion, but I don't remember any of that. No. I don't remember Wired running an article being like Kevin Smith's a prick or something like that. But I do remember buying an iPhone, going to the Apple store in the Grove, and there was a dude who was in line who he was like, hey man, come down and I'll fucking let you in front of the line. And so I jumped in front of the line with that dude who'd been there for a couple hours. Nobody in line seemed to care. They weren't like, fuck you. And so within the first 2 hours of people getting iPhones, I was in the first 2 hours, but I definitely was not number one. However, I think I might have been the first person that who didn't send an assistant out, who came in himself. So they took my picture when I came out and I was holding up the bag and stuff like that. But I don't remember like a campaign of hate surrounding you, anything like that. But how fucking, like, it blew my mind that you're like, they all talk about you at Apple. Like, really? Like, where? Like, at the Apple store or at that big circle building where everybody works? At the what? The one at the Grove. That's better, because I live in LA and I fuck with the Grove all the time. Like, if they were talking about me at Apple, like if Tim Cook was like, you know who's a real dick? Silent Bob. That don't help me at all. But if they're talking about me at the Grove, like, I still fuck with that store and shit. Like, I gotta go get a new iPhone soon. So when I walk in, I'm gonna definitely, not only am I gonna wear the coat, I'm gonna wear my full Silent Bob costume. Just so when I walk in, they're like, oh, he's back. That's good to know, though, man. You work at that store? 20 years ago? Okay, how old are you? You look like you're 12. How old are you? You're 42? What's your fucking secret, man? I'm asking as a 56-year-old, I got like all the fucking whites like gentrifying my beard and shit like that. What's the secret? You're Asian. Can I get some of that? Good talking to you, man. All right, we got time for a few more questions. What's your name?
I'm Sarah.
Give it up for Sarah. Sarah's next. Hi.
Sorry. I don't remember me like 10 years ago on movie fights. I made you the doll.
Which one? Which one?
Remember movie fights on YouTube?
The pillow?
No, there was a little doll, like you had the jersey.
Yes.
The jersey. I think it was like the Avengers movie fights.
Yes. And you made, and it was a movie doll?
Yeah, it was just a little doll of you. I made you. And then for my question, is that a question?
What was it made of?
This is a little felt doll.
I have it still.
Oh, do you?
I do.
Okay. And then with my, it's not really a question. I just wanted to let you know, I volunteer at an.
Can I tell you a quick fucking story though? So I had this little dachshund, Shecky, who passed away a couple years ago. She made it to like 18, and she fucking adored me. Honestly, when I leave this best of all possible worlds, I know who loved me the most, and it was this little dachshund, man. But she hated that fucking fella. And I would always find it, like, she in her mouth, like, hey, stop it, because nobody makes fucking toys of me and shit like that. So I know what you're talking about. Like, she's gone, though, so you won.
Well, anyway, I just want to let you know, I volunteer at an animal sanctuary in Chatsworth.
Oh my God, you're doing the Lord's work. Give it up for her, man. That's beautiful.
Kindred Spirits Care Farm in Chatsworth, and we're completely vegan, and we just got a new baby cow that we rescued from a dairy farm before going to slaughter. And
nice.
Just want to let you know that we're there, and I just want to let you know if you know.
If I'm in the market for a cow. I got some magic beans if you want to trade. Where is it Chatsworth, and what's it called? One more time, say it so everybody can hear it. Say it into the mic.
Kindred Spirits Care Farm.
Kindred Spirits Care Farm. Thank you for doing the noble work. Give it up for it, kids. All right, we do one last one, and then I'm going to run over to the American Comedy Club and do Hollywood Babylon with Ralph Garman. Who's going to that show? Anybody? You're going to be late. What's your name, Captain? Bring us home.
You know me as Victor Venn Diagram, sir.
Give it up for Victor Venn Diagram. What a beautiful fucking name. Perfect name.
So, now that there's a tariff on Canadian hockey sticks, how pissed are you?
Isn't that fucking crazy, man? Like, it's, you know, I don't want to get political and shit like that, but when you're attacking the fucking neighbor nation, our friends forever, and you're fucking going like, and now even your hockey sticks, like, it just seems so fucking petty, man. It's a world I don't fucking recognize. And I really hope it doesn't fuck with my ability to jump up there and shoot a movie and shit like that. I would totally understand if Canada was like, we're closing our border for a long time until y'all know how to act right again and shit like that.
Never blue.
Yes, that's right. Red, white, but never blue. But yeah, fucking good seeing you, Venn diagram. All right, looks like you might be the last one, Captain. Take us home. Tell them your name.
Buddy the Elf.
Give it up for Buddy the Elf, everybody.
So I know this is going to be a crazy question asked from a Christmas character, but do you got any information from that messed up movie Tusk? Are we getting a Tusk 2 anytime soon?
Let me tell you, man, if we get to make Moose Jaws, that's your Tusk sequel right there. It's both. It does double time, so it's two movies in one. And Justin is already on board, man. Justin loves the fucking script. But to be fair, you know, he loved the first one, and look what that did to him. You know? Like we've got a movie theater that I own back in Jersey with my friends called Smod Castle Cinemas, and we have screenings there like all the time and stuff. So we had Justin come and do a screening of Tusk, where we showed the movie and then we pushed him out there and make him explain himself afterwards and shit. And so I asked him, I was like, do you want to come watch the movie before the Q&A? And he goes, you made me make the movie. He's like, you cannot fucking make me watch the movie. So, you know, the fact that he wants to do it, it means everything and stuff. Speaking of Smod Castle Cinemas, kids, if you're on that side of the country, on the East Coast, it's in New Jersey, back where I'm from. On September 25th, we're doing, for the third time, an event called Clerks Open All Night, which you get there at 11 o'clock at night, you wear your pajamas, you bring a pillow and a blanket because it's a slumber party. So at midnight, we watch Clerks. At 2 in the morning, we watch Clerks 2. And then at fucking 4 in the morning, we have a collective existential crisis watching Clerks 3 and shit. And then we open up the shutters at 6 a.m. and we have a breakfast catered from Quick Stop, which is like 1 mile away and shit. So if you're on the East Coast, come out for that. But I'm gonna tell you about another fucking screening we did, man. It was not last February, the February before, was the 15th anniversary of Cop Out, a movie I directed a few years ago. And nobody on the planet was celebrating the 15th anniversary of Cop Out, except the director. And since he had his own theater, I was like, fuck it, man, I'm gonna have a screening. So I put a screening up for sale. I'm gonna do Q&A, 15th anniversary screening of Cop Out. I heard from Tracy Morgan's in Cop Out. And I haven't spoken to him since, like, before he got into the Walmart accident, almost lost his life with the truck and stuff. So his people called, they're like, do you want to talk to Tracy? He wants to talk to you. I said, fuck yeah, put Tracy on the phone. And Tracy goes, Kev, you having a 15th anniversary screening of Cop Out in New Jersey? And I said, yeah, at my movie theater, man. You want to come? He goes, yeah, I'm going to come to Jersey, get everyone pregnant. And he hung up. So since he was coming, I added him onto the fucking bill and shit, and we sold out. You know, fucking we $69 a ticket, we sold out and shit. So place is packed. Tracy, unlike Justin, Tracy didn't just come for the Q&A. He came before the movie began with his family and shit. And he goes, Kev, I'm ready. And I was like, oh, Tracy, you're like 2 hours early. He goes, no, I want to watch the movie. I haven't seen it in a long time. He's like, I brought my family. I was like, oh, Tracy, we have a sold out screening. So every seat's taken. And he goes, move people. So we did. I asked people, like, would you mind sitting on an apple box in the aisle and shit? Like, why? And I was like, Tracy Morgan's like, yeah, I didn't take my fucking seat, bro. So we had the screening, and like, you know, afterwards he got up to Q&A, and he's a comedian, so you imagine he's got like 15 minutes in his back pocket that he could do it and give a notice and shit, but he didn't do that. He got up, sat down on the screen, and he held court with the audience, got real with them, man. Sat down on the stage, talked to him the whole fucking time about like what the experience meant to him, being the lead in his first movie and stuff, dreaming about that when he was a kid. It was really heartfelt shit. So when he was all done, I told the audience, I was like, he's got another show to get to. Say goodnight to Tracy. They gave him a standing O and shit. And so I walked Tracy out to his car, man. And I was like, Trace, I can't thank you enough for coming out. Our theater is a non-profit theater because we never turn a fucking profit. So like, you know, every penny we make fucking helps keep the lights on and shit like that. I said, but, you know, you coming tonight meant that we sold out. So we made 16 grand. As far as I'm concerned, 8,000 of that is yours. So do you want that in cash? or check? And Tracy goes, Kev, you keep that money for the movie theater. I got Walmart money now. And then no bullshit, he got into a gold-plated Rolls Royce and drove away.